everybody. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and this is another Stone-Faced Reaction, where today we're watching more Tokyo 24th Ward. And, so what exactly happened last time? It's dropped on my brain suddenly.
Well, first thing I want to say is there's a correction to be made here, and
Ooh,
that
correction.
we thought today's episode was going to be the ultimate episode to end the series, and as it turns out, Wikipedia doesn't always update how many episodes it shows a series has, and Tokyo 24th Ward is going to have 12 episodes, which means that we're probably not going to see the resolution of the entire story solved today. Possibly just one terrorist attempt. Who knows?
Yeah, I guess we gotta, set up the final reveal of, by the way, your favorite friend is still alive in a tube.
Not alive?
Everyone keeps saying, it's like, no, it's just the body, and it's just running off whatever's left. It's like, but that body has not decomposed in a decade, so... Well, not a decade, but,
Well, specifically, they said, in words, I'll mind you, it was dead when they put it in there.
Sometimes dead is better.
Also, I mean, assumedly, they didn't want it decomposing in a jar, so there's, I don't know, formaldehyde? I don't know what the hell. It's probably something in there to keep it from decomposing.
Evangelion orange juice, I guess. As
No,
we
then
keep saying all
there
the
wouldn't be a
time now.
body, so...
Yeah, that's true, that's true. So let's see. So there is definitely going to be some action this time. They've literally set up with, like, by the way, I'm going to take the whole thing down. Are you with me? So this is going to be
I
this is
don't
going to be
know
interesting.
that means there's going to be action. Literally, dude's also a hacker. He could just your form of action could just be more of that floating in the Matrix nonsense shit that we did last episode,
Hmm.
which technically, to a visual aesthetic, would be action. At the same time, it's literally pan back, dude's just typing at a computer, not wearing a VR headset or anything. Literally, all in the mind. Makes no
Hmm.
goddamn sense.
Yeah. But let's see. I guess given that, if it's not gonna wrap up, anything could happen now, huh?
Well, not anything.
Not anything.
I
I mean,
doubt
I guess Jesus
Tokyo's.
stays dead.
I don't think Tokyo's going to explode in some sort of Rust-style apocalypse. That would be amazing, though, wouldn't it?
Oh, just yeah, tie the two series together. Visco and Tokyo 24th Ward. They're actually prequels.
Get a phone call. Everyone gets a vision of Tokyo exploding.
America, because of no particular reason, decided to launch another nuke at Japan today.
Oh well, no, we already know it's a robot that's filled with a rust-eating
And
virus.
that robot is American.
Pointedly, it's not. Got a Japanese name.
uh, I mean, there are weebs in America.
Mm-hmm.
At least one of them's gotta be on a missile control system somewhere.
We still tend to name our systems with English names.
Lunging nukes, just like in that anime.
Pointedly, the two nukes that we dropped in Japan were given
We're
English
bombs.
names. Yes, they were also bombs. You're correct, Griff. The two bombs that we dropped on Japan were bombs. But they
My
also had.
mind's going. I just enjoyed, like, a nice little bit of time outside, and, like, suddenly my brain's entirely melted. So, oh dear. Well, I just don't think I have any expectations right now. I don't know what to predict.
It's a real shame then if we had anybody following us in this watching. It's like, wow, last episode was a 50-minute discussion about philosophy. This episode, no expectations.
Wait, was last episode of 50? Oh gosh, it sure was, wasn't it?
Well,
Yeah,
last
we need that.
episode was a 50-minute reaction, or an hour, and the episodes are only 24 minutes, so you take from that what you will.
We had a lot of stuff to say. And now I'm just like, action. It's action time.
And yet, you're the one who brought up Big O last time as well.
That is true. All
When I
right.
say last time, I meant last time as the Bisco reaction that we just recorded a little while ago, not last time. If you're gonna go back and try and
in that
go over the
case,
24th Ward reaction that we
in that
did.
case, let me correct myself. It's showtime. And that means we're gonna watch the episode.
Or I'm gonna keep saying stuff.
You're ruining my
Keep
segues.
reacting. No, I tripped over your segue and broke it. That's how I ruined it.
All right, so let's go ahead and watch.
Well, that's not what you say. You have to say
Showtime. Go Gadget, watch episode. Alexa, watch episode.
See, now you're doing it.
Now I'm doing it. All right, let's watch. The future of the 24th Ward. Oh wait, it's another 20 years down the line? Or is this the past?
It's the past.
Oh yeah, they're pitching it, right? With
To
the
a cowboy.
American corner.
To a literal cowboy.
How else would you know if he's American or not if he's not wearing a cowboy hat and literally chewing on a piece of grass in a business meeting?
そうかしら。本土から来て法規制の緩い24区を実験台にするつもりでしょう。クラウドコンピューティングを併用した自動運転の実証実験なんて10年は進んでるわよ。予算がつくのは嬉しいですが、話が。
Oh gosh, yeah, they got the car with the cameras all over it. This is the Google Street View car.
He's not American.
Oh yeah, I've slowly come to realize that.
20年後に世界は様変わりしているはずよ。変わるのが怖くないんですか？怖がってても未来は来る。
Oh, that's the scientist girl from the original episodes. Oh, they killed her friend instead of her.
I mean, with her hair down, maybe she is. No, it's the wife. No, it's not the wife. What the hell am I? I don't think she's the woman from the intro, though. Oh no, her eyes are the same. God, it's so hard.
She very quickly
That could
and
be
perfectly.
It. The her on the
Maybe.
right there, the purple hair. She could be that girl.
Maybe.
She's the physical form and the huge green eyes.
Still, our scientist girl here very quickly explained the entire ethical dilemma with driving cars, like in one statement perfectly.
Why is it TV shows they never have the call nurse button? Oh, his life is ruined.
Oh yeah.
失語症の一種だそうだ。なかなか面白い。視界の中で虫が踊ってるんだ。ごめんなさい。私のせいで。気に病むことはない。時間とともに治っていくこともあるそうだ。それに咲子ちゃん、これは神様からのプレゼントかもしれない。神様からの？
Technically better than being dead in a car accident.
テクノロジーが未来を良くすると信じて研究に没頭してきた。だが今は世界が全然違った風に。
Yes, I almost got into one car accident, and now I don't believe in cars.
Now I'm going to be an artist because I can't read anymore.
自分の名前がこう見えるんだ。ゼロス？ゼロス。
Oh wow, he says he also lost his hair color at some point too. I mean, it's the guy.
Yes.
That's the guy who does the art, right? The terrorist.
Yeah, exactly. It is. This is his backstory now.
So he got into one little accident, and his mom got scared.
AI driving is to blame.
So you're saying when you're not Uncle Bel-Air. No, seriously though, this is the backstory of our main villain, and I feel like the show is losing some IQ points. I used to develop smart driving cars, and then we got into an accident where nobody got hurt, and then I decided no on smart driving cars.
Oh, this is also like the person who
どうぞ
invented the system just going like, wait a second, how can I possibly be responsible and predict the possibility of these things?
Yeah, but we already heard that from the... I can't remember who said it
すみま
before.
せん
That she sided against her own project at some point.
絶対にあんな事故は起こさせたくないんです
Again, everyone's turning against technology because of one incident where nobody got
世
hurt.
代挙手的凝集体演算装置の基礎論文を完成させた。あなたの実力を私は微塵も疑っていません。しかし、そのあなたがここまでしても問題を解決する方法が見つかっていない。
So I've got to really side with Green's dad on this one.
このシステムには
Which
原
is
理的に
him.
克服できない欠陥があるからではないですか。
たとえそうだとしても関係ないです私は口切りくんの将来を壊してしまったもう二度とこんなことがないようこのシステムを完成させなくては
過ちから生まれるものもありますよ。ほら。
さきこちゃん
I mean, a more reasonable person would say, just make the self-driving cars better. Let me just devote myself to making them better. That's a pretty good drawing.
絵から
Or
激しい主張を
picture.
感じるあれを
Given that this isn't too long after the accident, did he just suddenly become artistic, or was he like always kind of good at it?
そうだったんですか
ゼロス君は
I mean, I guess the fact he's wearing a cowboy outfit all over the place, maybe it means he's a bit, you know...
あなたも過去にとらわれすぎてはいけない。
I'm just glad the accident is gonna knock the cowboy out of him.
I mean, he
He's
already
gonna
had...
look back 10 years in the 20 years in the future and just go, man, why did I dress like that?
The thing is, he already had the accident, and he was wearing a cowboy outfit.
He's gonna change eventually.
水道先生
さきこちゃん
お久しぶりです
Oh.
Younger
Wow.
Sakiko looks so weird.
I didn't see
But
that...
she's still in school.
I didn't see that she was becoming that person. I didn't realize she was her. The research assistant this whole time.
さきこちゃん何度も言うけどあの事故はただのきっかけよ私が研究をやめたことに
So she was the mom. I was wrong about being wrong.
ダメですかなえさんの研究がなければ私の命はありませんでした私は受けた恩をちゃんとみんなに返したいんです
It was an accident. Nobody got hurt.
本当は一緒に
No, someone did.
Well, he was in the car, though. Literally, had nothing to do with
だ
her.
って急だったからゴーリさんの影響ですか
まあそれもあるかなゴーリさん前からずっと教育に
It's just such
興
a
味がある
weird
し
take. It's
今も小中高一貫教育の学校を作るんだっていろんなところに働きかけてるし
it's like finding out that the main villain, like the Joker, turned into the Joker because he choked on a piece of gum. It's like what? I don't.
I think that's one of his backstories, actually.
It's not, but I'm just saying that's very weird. It's like it's the equivalency, right? I'm gonna
During
take
one
down
of his comedy
society
routines, he
because
choked on gum.
that's what I'm saying. I can't. I'm gonna take down society because bubblegum betrayed me. It's like what?
お世話になるつづら川咲子とあれ早すぎたか
新人ちゃん
すみません部屋を間違えました
ああ大丈夫多分合ってるからいや
In the cosplay room, yeah, you're in the wrong
このような
place.
サークル活動に興味はないです
サークル活動じゃない仕事だよこういうバイトし
It's
てんの
the investigator from SART.
蛍光灯が眩しくて寝れなくてさ
Oh gosh, it sure is.
よろしくねさっちゃん
つづら川と呼んでください
返し
I just don't think I'm gonna get past this whole inciting incident was a car accident. Nobody got hurt.
いただきます
さっちゃんはブラッ
We've
ク
all
で
taken extreme action
ミルクお願いします
because of a car accident. Nobody got hurt.
気になる
自作ですか
そう夜なべしてこさえたのさご当地ヒーローミスター24 24区の平和を24時間守ります
仕上げが雑ですね
Ah, everything new is old.
大変だったんだよ
私の知り合いだったら
There's through lines on everything.
何造形師の知り合いでもいい
I mean,
の
we're just seeing the past
そういうと
from
こはべらぼうにお高いじゃ
the
ない
side
さっ
characters'
ちゃん
perspectives now.
その人は
But everything starts from them. They're the original trio who are gonna get a call and are gonna become superheroes.
They're not a trio. There's a bunch of them.
作ってくれると思います
I mean, there's him, there's her, there's the mother, and this dude who's now dyslexic. Not this dude, but, the painter.
よし、できた。
That is him.
That's what I'm saying, the painter. When I said him, it was him in the train, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
いいですね。24時間ぶっ続けで悪と戦う感じで。
だろ？
この角のあたりはマッスルボーイリスペクト？
ああ、気づいたか。少し日本のヒーローの衣装。
Like I said, the only thing I can attribute this to is that he didn't just go dyslexic when he got hit his head in the car accident.
ヒーローに非常な選択を
He also went a little bit crazy. Because this is all fucking
な
insane.
るほどね。確かにそれはドラマティックですね。よし、それも採用。いやー、助かりましたよ、ゼロさん。このままで立体化もぜひ。
春日県 OB のよしみだ。
Wait,
私が日本を離れて
does this mean that Green is actually Zero's son?
ですか？
ニューヨークで本番
What?
They
No way.
share
No,
similar.
no way.
They share similar hair colors. Him and the mother were kind of close together a lot.
Imagine it's like, son, you're adopted is the finale dramatic moment.
Doesn't share a lot with his father, and his father is often cold to him. It's possible.
Stop being so right.
私はアートで世界を変える。
アートで世界を変えるとか。
Although, was his sister older than him?
ここの作品見てると確かにいけるかもって感じしてきました。
Yes.
If that's the case, then I'm wrong. Unless they're twins? No, it can't be if one's older than them. Then I must be wrong.
No, wait, maybe
大学
she's
卒業してもヒーロー活動を続けてるかも。
Look, if we see a little green-haired boy in this episode, then I'm right. If we see
Yeah,
a
we're
little
gonna find
white-haired
out.
girl, then I'm wrong.
ゴールデンサンサイン。
宝バンクが始まってから
Now, if we see them both together, then I don't know what the hell. She's clearly
That was
younger.
Okay, so she's the young one. Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go.
Okay, then my supposition stands
商店街のみんなの
that they were in a relationship. That he
I don't
went.
think they established before that they were there in these scenes.
They
they-
did, yeah, because they showed them in
Okay,
the.
okay.
I mean, I don't know that him and the wife were there,
ありがとう
but they showed the two, all three of them together in the crowd.
うまい
Okay.
でしょ？おい、あすみ。
But yeah, no, him, her, and Zero were a thing. Then he goes crazy in the car accident, and she becomes closer to. I don't know what the hell his name is. He's been Green's dad this whole time, but I don't know. Green's cuck dad, whatever.
ゴリさん、あの時私
ゴリ
の背中を押してくれてありがとう。
こちらこそありがとう私が水道
Good old Gory.
Like I said, though,
かなえの判断
clearly he hit his head and went dyslexic and crazy.
でもまだまだこれからだ
There's no explaining this turn of events.
や
It's
るべきこと
weird.
は。
But it is fun seeing, like,
あなた、ちょっと用事を
the whole time they built up, like, the school as, like, a central premise of why they all came together. Here they are discussing, like, how these people built the school all this time. And then later on, they're also the ones to decide to destroy it.
Well, you gotta remember that the guy who died in the tornado, the guy who was also driving them around all the time, was a
Yeah.
big proponent of keeping the school around that we saw in other flashbacks.
Right.
And without him around, that's when destroying the school actually happened.
もしよかったら。
Wow.
財布
Literal zombie.
She was just walking around with the
We
knife
never,
the whole
we've
time.
never seen how she died, so
財布をよこしなさいよ。
well, I guess.
Apparently
that's-
not that way.
Yeah.
すくすく。
Also, I don't remember this guy having a. Well, no, maybe it was this way.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Good trick show. Good trick.
倒れてるじゃないですか。何があ
Man,
った
she
んです
was
か。
always on fucking motorcycles.
早く救急車を。
あなたがいながら何やってたんですか。病院はすぐそこです。私が。
Oh, are you blaming him? Oh, does he now join the police force because of this? I mean, at least this makes sense. He feels guilty. He literally just got yelled at for what were you doing? You were here. That makes
大丈
sense.
夫です。すぐ病院に。
More sense than, going anti-technology because you got into a car accident where nobody got hurt.
Really stupid point and thought. She drives motorcycles all the time because she got run over by a car, or was almost.
That doesn't make sense
So she
either.
doesn't go for cars anymore, she goes for motorcycles.
Yeah, because that seems a lot more safe. I feel like her life didn't change all that much, other than the fact that she got closer to this group of people. And clearly her
Yeah,
mother...
no, you're right. This is just like, oh, hey, I learned about you and I got involved in your stuff.
Yeah.
There we
Also,
go. Okay, so
this
she's
also
younger.
gives us insight into the whole Shantytown thing, that she was killed around Shantytown before this dude even started doing shit.
I think that's the same church that they went to for the other funeral.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're continuity, everybody.
But I mean, Shantytown was a shit place before this dude was in charge.
Yeah, but here's the turning point. It definitely was not.
Oh no, the turning point's clearly going to be the school.
家内の目指したもの、あのシステムが完成さえすれば、全ての犯罪は事前に防がれ、こんな事件は起こらずに済むはず。つづらが君、君は家内の研究を引き継いでいたな。頼む、金に糸目はつけない。どんな泥だって被ってみせる。だから家内のあのシステムを完成させてくれ。もう二度とこんな悲劇が起こらないように。
Here we go, dual motivations between the two of them.
I mean, obviously it doesn't work just yet because didn't predict his daughter dying, did it?
Right, yeah, they haven't even finished it, I think.
No, I'm just saying that we know it doesn't work in the coming couple of years because his daughter dies in a school fire they didn't predict happening.
That's a check-in on how the kids are doing, though, which is kind of interesting.
I'm safe. I knew who that
I guess
was.
this all explains the scar, too.
To be honest, I never even noticed the scar. To the point
Which is
where
a
he
fun
got
character detail.
to the point where he got stabbed in the face, and I thought, does he have a scar?
釣れないね。
Project Cornucopia.
I gotta say, we really get to see this woman grow up, though, because she was a short thing, and she turns into this.
どうもお久
She
しぶり
gained like a whole foot.
Oh yeah, that's what I.
Very
Noticed.
end.
That's truly the thing I noticed. Her height.
外形
I'm just saying that she really
Are there
grows
other
up.
things to notice? Did we have an episode focused on that, maybe?
Look, I pointed it out on other characters and other reactions. I'm pointing it out here too.
そうか
Look, Blue really noticed. Is all I'm saying.
器物破損で捕ま
I
らない
do love all the parallels they're drawing between this past trio and the new trio.
ところでサキコは元気
Except that
おいなんとか
there's only
They're
one of
not
them with.
perfect parallels.
Only one of them in the past has green hair. So that's all I'm saying.
It's not about the hair color.
I think it is. That's what RGB is all about. Hair colors.
研究室にあったコルヌコピアの設計図が
How dare you have a natural look? Immediately cut off. He knows too
Again,
much.
I totally don't understand Zeroth at all. It's fucking insane what his backstory is. Nobody got hurt. Nobody. Man, does he age weirdly. Gray hairs in 3 places going
本当
back.
にそれが世界のためだと思っているのかあのシステムには重大な欠陥が
私が知らないとでも
It has a
私
major
は
flaw.
家内を誰より近くで見てきた彼女が研究を捨てるのに苦しんだのはあれが価値のあるシステムだからだ
人の道を踏み外すのか
私は常に最善を尽くす欠陥は技術の進歩で克服すればいいつづら川もそのつもりで計画を進めている
私は最初からお前を信じていないお前はいずれ皆の幸せのためだと偽って悪魔に魂を売る
Now back to the investors meeting.
カナエシステムは順調か
特艦ですが地下の情報センターもそろそろ着工に取り掛かります
生体脳の代替手
The
段
funny thing, he's totally right, too. That's exactly what happens.
やはりダメかカナエシステムの中枢を担うことができるのは人間の脳だけ
Yeah,
Oh,
to
that's
me.
the critical flaw. There we go. Now we have it in more definitive
Yeah,
terms.
we already knew that.
Yeah,
I-
we've known that, but in dramatic irony, yeah.
No, I mean I assumed that the whole time. It was literally, I'll take responsibility. There's a major flaw. We already knew that coming through. This was not a reveal of any sort.
お願い例の竹 学校の件なんだけど。
はあ、前にも言ったように管理されてない廃校は危険な場所で。
これ見て。
あ、
みんなで書いたの。
これは
すごいのよみんな。宝小学校を保存して再利用する方法をいろいろと考えてくれているの。区長として小学校保存運動を支援してほしいの。
しかし
お願いします。これは24区にきっと必要なことだと思うんです。
You're not my son. I mean, yes.
白樺先生にも頼まれているしな。議題にはあげる。しかし皆の賛同を得られるかまでは責任は持てない
Oh
ぞ。
god, I hope. I just had a thought, and I hope they don't do something like this. That since his dad might be mentally unstable, Green might also be mentally unstable and just do something weird and
ゼロ
stupid.
スが駆け出しで会長に追い回さ
Oh
れて
gosh, I hope not. That's
God,
not
this
what this whole show's setting up.
Episode has gone so quick. They're doing credits
それを
already.
思い出したよ。
I know.
に似て優しく育たれましたね。
And I'm still hung up on an accident where nobody got hurt.
Oh my gosh, the dramatic irony in that statement. Oh. Perhaps she's the hope. And then the burning building.
熱い
Oh, I love it.
Oh man, he got on scene pretty quick. Oh, I guess it's a small area.
Yeah, it kind of is.
遷延性意識障害で脳の広範囲が活動できない状態です。さらに体の損傷が激しく、生命活動自体が明日にも停止するかもしれません。覚悟をしておいてください。
あすみをなんとか助けることはできませんか。
現代医学では残念ながら。
So she didn't actually die.
No, she's supposed to die tomorrow morning.
これは
She's-
典型だ。
She's in a coma.
No, she
Just what
said
she said.
biological processes will end tomorrow morning. That's death, Griffin.
許してくれ。カナエ。
これは私の信仰です。より良い未来がなくてはいけないのです。
Here we are, back to episode 1.
かなえ様、罪深い私をお許しください。
Next time. Oh, Sparkles.
Oh yeah, but imaginary shit.
マリさんが。でもどちらを選んでも救えないものが出てしまう。こんなの選べない。助けて RCD。 助けてシュータ。
There we go. It's all coming together.
Alright,
Stun
alright.
silence, everybody. Stun silence.
No, I wasn't inside. I was doing overlay stuff and I fucked up because of my rush. Because I always feel like at the end of an episode I'm rushing to beat you to do the overlay stuff before you make your first comment. Because that's an editing rush. Anyway.
Alright. You go ahead first. What do you got?
You know, I'm gonna subvert expectations and not talk about the thing I hated real quick. I'm gonna talk about something
Okay.
else I hated, in fact.
Data like stuff. Oh, amazing.
Well, no, actually, I just said I'm gonna talk about something else I hated. I hate the imaginary, this is what's going on in my head shit that we're doing for the computer. You know, the same thing that I was complaining about in the opening here, where Red is just typing away at the computer, and in his mind, he's in a virtual space and everything, despite he's not wearing anything like that. So now we're seeing what she sees, but since they gave us Red's virtual impression, which isn't real, I can only then think that her virtual impression isn't real. These are neurons firing off in her brain connected to all this computer shit. But it's not actually the vision that we're seeing. It's not... The things that she sees aren't actually happening.
I have a hypothesis, and I know exactly what's happening artistically. The writer here is, of course, inspired by cyberpunk elements. Like, that's obvious, right? Like, to some degree, he likes that kind of stuff. But as they're writing this, they go, I want to have this stuff because that's important to like the things that I'm doing mechanically here, but I've also set up way too of a grounded scenario. So now the only explanation is people's imaginative interpretations of what's happening rather than like, yeah, I'm sitting here on my laptop.
So you say that, and
It's also not visually interesting if they were just sitting there at the
you
last
say
one. So
that,
I also
and I'm
understand
brought
that.
back to a good place where a character dies, and they go back to the good place, and they say, "Well, how do I know you're not just made up by, the chemical processes of my brain trying to interpret their last dying breath, right?"
Hmm.
And that's all imagination, but it's set up with like 5 sentences and a joke to
Yeah.
say, "How do I know this is all just made up? This is time lapse from my brain trying to accept its own mortality as I in my dying moments, right?"
Hmm.
Say something like that. Throw it at me. Not just, okay, here's Red sitting at a computer. Here's a scene from Hackers. Here's Red again. And even at Hackers, at least they wore VR gloves and, the big old giant ass goggles they had to do in VR in the 90s. At
We
least
still have the giant ass goggles. That hasn't changed.
it's changed. No, because I went to actual arcades and everything, and those things were like 10 pounds, 20 pounds on your head. Those
Oh god, this is awful.
90s VR. Yeah, and the
Yeah.
wires were thick ass and whatever. I'm saying that stuff at least implies that it's not in his imagination. He could be sitting there, you know, wiggling his fingers around in the air, having a goggles over his face or something, just so it's not his imagination.
Surfing the information superhighway. Get out your surfboards, everyone. Yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
mean, just so it's. I mean, that little touch, that little artistic touch would show that he's actually doing this 90s hackers stuff and not he's imagining it. Otherwise, the imagining it has no effect. It literally takes you
Right.
out because.
So this is all the silly artistic stuff at the least. So what about the more substantive stuff of the episode here? What have you got on that?
Again, the Joker became the Joker because he choked on some bubblegum.
For me, everything seems to line up perfectly now. So I'm remembering last time they were mentioning that there's a critical flaw in the system, and we're both like wondering, wait, what could it possibly be? They already have a human body in there. What could be going wrong with the system now that it's working? It's like, no, the flaw was just that there has to be a body. Okay, so that all makes sense now. I no longer have to worry about that detail. Um, and the ending of the episode, to elaborate more about like what I was trying to say as we were watching, the impression that the father here has given everyone is that their sister died, but in truth, she was in a medical coma. They said that modern medicine couldn't possibly save her, so he went ahead and used his experimental medicinal tank for a human brain or body to go to run his system now that there's someone who no longer has a choice, or rather, is about to die or could be a part of his system. So, now this also explains some of the way the things were working last time, like the cyberspace stuff you were talking about. Not like it's artistic look, but I mean like the context of it, where it's like, what is she doing? Is she really conscious? Is she making decisions? Is I thought she was dead? That kind of stuff. If she's just in a coma and these are her coma nightmares, and even in her nightmares she goes, wait a second, I don't feel good making a choice between people dying. I want someone else to do that for me. It gives context to literally everything that happened, and it makes sense to me.
Two
I
things.
think these puzzle pieces have fit together, at least in a logical way, of how the characters have been demonstrated to work.
Two things. When his wife died, he did say he was going to take up all of the sin or whatever for what it
Yeah.
was going to happen. So it was already
He's
known.
already resolved to it,
And
right?
he was realistically thinking about it, he probably was already doing the Frankenstein thing, trying to find a brain or whatever that would do the job for him, so that
Right, or
when
go
his
around
own
it or
daughter,
avoid the problem. Yeah.
so that when his daughter actually dies, and to bring up again, it was brought up between other characters, including himself, that his daughter did die. She was medically dead, and before you bring it up, the doctor that was talking to him said by the morning she would be biologically dead. It wasn't that she was being held in a coma. She was probably in a coma up until that conversation. But the idea being that she was pronounced dead and then he took the body.
Mhm.
So it's not so much that she went from coma to machine. It's that she went from coma, pronounced dead, to machine.
Right. I mean, like they could add like more precise details in like the coming episodes to be more exact about what her state is.
God, I hope not.
Because But that doesn't really matter to the context of it, right?
That's what I'm saying.
We
I
have
hope
what
not.
the
We don't need
dilemma
to
is
dwell
here.
on it. It's a minor arguing point between the two of us, whether she was a
Yeah.
chroma machine or not. I say the details say one way. You say the implication is another way. To the story, it doesn't really matter that much. It's
We're
just
still gonna get the scene where Blue comes in and goes, "Oh my god, it's her, I have to rescue her," and they're like, "Wait a second, do we save her, or do we save literally everyone else in the city because she's predicting things? Oh no."
Well, I mean, it's not really.
And it doesn't matter what her actual state is, Blue's gonna still do
There's
it.
no danger to the city. There's literally no danger to the city. Her activity as the God, what's the thing called again? I forgot what the machine's called.
Kane system?
No, I mean that's the system, but the thing itself has a name.
I don't know, it's just GLaDOS to me at this point.
Well,
They
no,
have like a very long name for it, and it
It's
just
two
drops
words.
out of my
It's literally
brain.
2 words. I think it starts with an H. Hazardcast.
Hazardcast.
Hazardcast
Okay.
works
Yeah, that's
on
the service they advertise. There we go. That's good.
Hazardcast works on the Kane system, but I'm saying Hazardcast is not a danger to the city. It's literally not a problem. They, in fact, are voting on whether to use it or not.
They're gonna demonstrate it in somewhere or something.
No. Remember, they've already been using it. It's the thing that has ambulances show up before you actually get into an accident. It's so it warned everybody the tornado was coming before the sky turned dark. It's
right,
literally.
But the information we've gotten here now is that, of course, our character in the tube is making these decisions and is consciously having to make these choices between who lives or who dies, like the start of the episode, where the driver has to decide, wait a second, am I going to run over the girl, or am I going to crash into the car? And the girl in the tube goes, I can't make this decision.
Okay.
Because that's not great.
I've got another 2 things. One has to do with the car scenario that you just described. The other one has to do with the girl in the tube.
Right, you have like a lot of problems with that, so go over them.
No, it's not so much a problem. It's one, the girl in the car didn't make a decision; she wasn't driving. That's my problem with the way you just described there. Is that she made no choice. She let the system itself decide.
No. The AI caused the problem, I believe, in the first place. She tried to wrestle control from it. Wait, no, yeah, you're right. But she wrote the system, and later on she explained perfectly the problem with automated driving, which is, I'm the programmer. The program made a choice about whose life to take, and that's my fault because I wrote it that way.
Anyway, so, I'm saying that there was no choice made. Was my point there?
Yeah.
But God, now what am I thinking? My problem with what you just said about the what's her name again? Kane? Was her name actually Kane? Did they name the system after the person they put in the?
I think so.
Really burying the lead there, guys. Anyway.
Yeah, no one will ever know.
Well, to be fair, they never mentioned the Kane system to anybody outside the room, so I guess it's fine. But sure,
that's their secret project.
Wasn't that the name of your daughter? It's in memory of her. Shut up. Anyway, the thing is that no other method of using Hazardcast does that. Only the times where the people get called does anybody make a choice about who lives or dies. Hazardcast, as we've seen from episode 1, remember, Green sits there at a traffic stop because Hazardcast says 70% chance there's an accident going to happen here. All Hazardcast does is bring an ambulance, have some guys ready to help people out if necessary. It doesn't say what to do to stop an accident. It says, hey, an accident's going to happen. Here's where to send people.
But clearly the character is caught up, like, in the episode 1 problem, like, wait a second, either she dies or a lot of people dies, and I don't like either of these outcomes, and I have some capacity to choose which one this is, and I can't.
That's what I'm saying, is that
so there is something involved in
any previous example of Hazardcast operation does not feature a choice. No, listen to me. I'm sorry. I just need to get this out there because I'm going to lose. I have 70 things flying through my head, and if I don't get one of them out, I'm going to lose 20 of them to brain melt. Every operation of Hazardcast shown is response. HazardCast is a SARG response program that SARG goes out and responds to an accident about to happen. It doesn't. The system doesn't choose what's going to happen. If HazardCast was working as the way HazardCast has been shown to work every other time, it wouldn't choose to derail a train, or I don't know how it would have saved a person. It would have just sent people there. Hey, there's going to be a woman stuck on this train track. Send somebody there to get her. Not, it wouldn't be a trolley problem. It would have just been a, hey, I need a couple of SARG agents here to the rail tracks, which is shown is how it operates.
To go ahead and elaborate, it is the HazardCast system that chooses what the response is within it, i.e., it tells them to send the ambulance because that creates the best result. And it does it by also telling them that there is this percent chance that this thing will happen. So the system would have, in that case, the choice to say, I am going to tell them to send some people out there to try to rescue the girl, and then that derails the train.
I don't understand how that derails. Anyway, I agree with
I think
you.
maybe
Up
we're
until,
missing like how these steps build up there.
I agree with you up until that last sentence, because God, what was I? The system tells them what to do in the best way possible, which is to say, send an ambulance, right? The very first example, there's going to be a car accident happens here with this amount of probability. Send an ambulance, have them ready on hand. It doesn't, on the other hand, turn off the traffic lights or make all the traffic lights red so that nobody gets into a car accident. The system doesn't
Right, it doesn't have
accidents.
automated control of their city or anything.
Yeah,
it is prediction and solution.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't actually ever respond to a scenario, which is why the trolley problem coming up doesn't make any sense, because it never
it does, because
responded.
like here are two solutions, both of them are bad. What do I do?
I don't know how sending people there derails a train. Also, they had a lot of time to respond.
That was the entire premise of the first episode. Somehow, yes, rescuing that girl, trying to stop the train via like the braking system and all of that, causes it to derail. It saves the girl, and that's the only way they really get there in time. That was the whole thing that they set up during that episode, which is, of course, like a little bit fictitious in a scenario setup kind of way. You know, it's like things have to be that way, but that's what they set up.
I mean, I guess I could see it, but you know, from a system that gives you a percentile chance, it really.
She's a computer.
I know, but it really feels like any system in a fictional world like this would just say, okay, 60% chance. That's better than every other chance. Let's do it. You know, it's just. I understand in this instance, it's because, hey, that's my friend, and I'm a living brain in this computer. But, God, I mean, all right, I can move past this part. This part is, okay. I think we've gotten to the meat of that one.
So I'll go ahead and like say something positive, which is that I like the through line between the characters in the past and how they were, and how our characters are now, how they're kind of like how they interact with each other, what their views seem to be in very short bursts, and how like the symbols of the things that RGB is or does are basically passed down from those characters. We have like the superhero, we have the art, we have like the science stuff happening. You know, it all kind of it shows that like, wait a second, all these problems aren't brand new; they are evolutions from things in the past. I'm like, okay, cool. That's a nice thing to show.
I mean, it doesn't really line up if you think about it, because clearly
no, it's not perfect, and I think that's good. None of these characters are carbon copies of like the past ones, or vice versa here. But there's elements pushed forward, and there are things that these characters would probably agree on or get along with.
Because obviously Zeroth, Green's dad, I'm going to say, Zeroth is obviously the predecessor for Red, which we've also already seen in that they were mentored. Yeah. One mentored the other.
Their symbol gets passed down to them.
The Sarg guy, who we've seen in episode 1 trying to chase down Blue before.
Yeah, the detective.
Not really a mentor to him at all. In fact, he's trying to avoid that guy constantly. In fact, that guy talks to Green more than he ever talks to Blue.
That is correct. They're not mentors, but when you consider like the symbolic through line between these characters, these two characters serve the same purposes in both groups. They are the action-oriented character who tries to do stuff, who goofs off a little bit, who likes these hero things. And I believe part of the reason why the detective never really pursues Blue isn't because like he can't parkour as good. It's because he goes, I'm exactly like that, and I would have done the same thing.
I see that's the part where I disagree. I feel like, given if we're gonna give this like a Sentai thing, I'm gonna pull it back to like a comic
Sure.
book example, in that if you're saying it's like a through line that the Sark guy is like Blue, to me that best example would probably be like Blue Beetle. In that Blue Beetle, his original character was like an old guy who had like an alien outfit that he put on, and he fought crime. And then when he dies, he passes it on to like this kid who then has it attached to him, who then goes on to fight crime. And literally, that is the through line. That is the most connecting factors, because old man who fights crime had different ideologies, different ideas, different problems. The kid who fights crime has different problems, different ideologies. The only through line is that they fought crime and were heroic. That's what I'm saying.
And that would be like the very superficial thing. It would be like if the only thing that happened here is like if the detective had the hero suit and then Blue later on wears the hero suit, and that was like the only connecting element, right?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying, is that Detective Sarg guy, who's clearly our hero of the past, and Blue, who is clearly our hero of the present, don't actually have all that much in common, other than the fact that if we looked at two random groups of people from the past and the present and had to say that guy is more like that guy, we would be forced to say that guy's more like Blue, just because we're forcibly making connections between people who don't have connections.
Right. If we were to look for like the stronger connection, it's definitely between Red and Zeroth, where they are literally directly mentored and inspired by the art. They start pushing down like similar philosophical paths. They have the same habits and lifestyle. There's a lot more direct similarities, but the important thing that they share is like the symbolic aspect here, right?
Well, I would say Green and the research assistant have a just as strong relationship, because clearly it's not Green and his dad, despite his dad being in all that flashback. Green and the research assistant are also sort of a mentor relationship in that they're always working together all the time. One is actively putting tracers in the other one's pocket to keep track of where they are all the time. And by the turning
by
point
the end
of the show,
Green's going to put tracers into someone else's bag. The process continues.
Well, no, I mean by the turning point of the show, she's revealed to him everything that she's working on, and he has gone cold to it. Like, he's like, yep, this is the world now. I understand why we're doing it and what we're doing. So, I feel like that connection is as strong as Zeroth and Red's, because again, it's almost, well, theirs is almost a mentor relationship. It's like we're tied by something that God had not wrought.
Right, and like the connection between Blue and the detective here is obviously like the weakest of like the three here. Like you gotta like stretch a little bit, but it doesn't have to sync up perfectly, and it's fine. Like you said, these people don't have to actually be exactly like each other.
I mean, it's also very weird if you say like, "Oh, every generation of this town is just a mirror of its previous generation."
Yeah, that would be kind of awkward. Instead, this is more like, hey, this is how these people in the past influenced how these people were growing up, and the people growing up attached onto the symbols that they gave them and evolved into something similar looking but different because they're a new generation. It's like, okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Everything checks out. That's good. That's mature. That's in a story. It's great.
All right. Well, that was your thing I liked. Back to my thing I hate. The Joker choking on a piece of gum. I do not like that our main protagonist, our main antagonist of what seems to be this entire story, unless they hit us with something weird in the last 2 or 3 episodes.
Godzilla comes out of the sea.
Tornadoes came from nowhere. We still don't know where the fuck tornadoes came from.
Oh yeah, Weatherman is gonna come by, yeah.
I mean, no, that dude, you can even know she's now in the hospital, claimed she was responsible for it, but we already know she has no ability. I mean, unless she was in an airplane seeding it with ice or some shit to cause
Right, she was just
tornado.
taking the blame for it.
I mean, still, no, because the girl on Hazard Cast knew to say that it was going to be tornadoes too. So, anyway, whatever. Beyond the point. I'm going back. I don't even know why I started talking about that. Joker choking on a piece of gum.
All right.
Dude gets into an accident where nobody gets hurt and decides instantly, technology bad.
Well, one, he got hurt. He was the victim. Do you remember?
You remember that also the worst that he got was dyslexia, and he said, you know what, I like this better.
Right. I think maybe the through line here is that actually, it's not just like he had like a small bit of like brain damage which caused like a problem. It's more he has reinvented himself in that moment to accept who he is and not like constantly fret over the fact that he got injured, right? Instead, he chooses to move on from that moment and become a new person. It's like, okay, cool, that's fine.
I can understand reinventing yourself to accept who you are, because that's entirely both believable and, you know, it's, as a human being, that's good. It's something you ought to accept yourself. Even
yeah, his initial reaction is perfectly healthy. The anti-technology bent he comes upon later, I think, is an evolution of the path that he took, where a decade down the line of trying to change the world with art, he goes, wait a second, this system that she was working on was bad, and she told me it was bad, and now you're going to create it? You're terrible. You shouldn't be doing this. You know you're going to have to sacrifice a person for this, right? This is the wrong idea. And he's perfectly in the right to say that.
I would agree with you, if not for the fact that his anti-technology angle came up literally in the hospital. The moment after he came back to.
Right, they have to rush through. We only got 24 minutes, right?
The moment he reinvented himself, this tech guru decided, my entire life is a lie. Technology's gonna end us all! And thus began his terrorist stint. It's again, the Joker...
I don't think it led directly to terrorism. I think it was after that meeting where he confronts him and goes, wait a second, you idiot, you're gonna have to sacrifice a person for this. Don't do it. Then he turns to terrorism, or like trying to stop his friend at the very least. And I'm just like, yeah, no, that checks out. You realize he's about to sacrifice a human being, so you're going to try to destroy the project. Okay.
You have to admit,
perfectly reasonable.
You have to admit that in hospital bed, technology is bad. Gave the path forwards towards terrorism against technology. The two are connected. It might have been a thread back here and turned into a brick road up here, but they are connected.
But like, to your initial metaphor of like the Joker choking on a stick of gum so he becomes the Joker, this is more like a butterfly effect than that. Like, it's not the Joker choked on a piece of gum and then like he decided he was going to start wearing clown makeup and kill people. It's like he choked on a piece of gum. He had externalities from that. He couldn't like breathe properly anymore. He goes to do his comedy routine and that's ruined. And then down the line, once he's a has-been, he's like, wait a second, now I'm going to commit crime. It's not a direct and immediate. It's an externality of something that nobody could have possibly predicted.
You know, explaining it as he did doesn't make it better. That's still fucking stupid. Do you think that would sell one Batman movie? That's just what I say.
I never said it would sell a Batman movie.
I'm just saying
but I would write it.
I'm just saying that you're explaining it logically, and it's like, sure, it's a butterfly effect, all these things that you said still fucking sucks. It's still bad. I don't think that's getting off of the cutting room floor.
I think it was perfectly fine, but that's my opinion on it. So
again, after everything that we've been through, exploring everybody's characters, dude gets into a car accident where nobody gets hurt.
You keep saying nobody.
I guess I am saying nobody.
He's no longer a Texan.
He was never a Texan, also. That's why I keep calling him
an honorary Texan.
He's like
he is in my heart.
He's a tech guru, which means he's eccentric. But yeah, no, I keep saying nobody got hurt because effectively he's still fine despite he has dyslexia now because again, one of the other things that he said right after waking up in the hospital bed is, "I like this better."
hmm Still going forward, I think the next interview I go to, I'm gonna wear a cowboy hat.
Well, I mean, it can't be just a cowboy hat. It literally has to be like
I
a
gotta
10,
have the whole outfit, yeah.
like a 9-year-old's uh, costume, Halloween
Oh,
costume,
that
because
was a terrible idea.
it wasn't like a regular cowboy outfit. It was literally like the 9-year-olds, like the vest and the giant gold star.
Yeah, the gold star was like it's made of plastic.
I would assume it would be, and
He
it's
got it
not.
at the
And he
costume
kept
store.
wearing it after the accident too. So
Gosh, no, there's like a scene right before the meeting, and it's like, dude, why are you wearing that? It's like, oh, I got into a bit of an accident beforehand. I stumbled into a costume store, and this is how I came out. I just came to work. And it's like, well, I sure hope you don't get into another accident. 2 scenes later.
but yeah, well, I mean, again, he wears it after the accident too. So
Uh,
again, that's just my
I know,
major
I'm just
detraction.
giggling.
It's my major detraction this whole episode. You might be able to swallow it in, and it works to your world built view and world building, but to me, it's just so insane that I feel like this guy could have not had a backstory at all. Like literally, I'm just a mysterious artist, and I would have accepted it easier because
Yeah.
the anti-technology view we've already described last time with the naderist point of view and all other.
Yeah, we spent an hour on that.
Yeah, I said I can easily explain that because I already understand that people are afraid of technology because technology is scary. I mean, not only that your whole life can be controlled and like effectively destroyed at the push of a button or a server farm going down or whatever, but also, the computer systems that control nukes from a even less overviewed thing. That technology is scary and capable of both not only killing us all in a real physical sense, but it killing you in a very economic or social sense as well. So it's very easy to understand why a person would be
And
like,
here,
let's just revert it all. What was the
and
movie?
here technology killed him in a philosophical sense.
I'm just saying that I could have dealt without this. Like this guy you could have gotten rid of the. I don't know. See, if I was editing a video right now, I'd be thinking, could I get, and I needed to cut time, like, oh man, I made a 29-minute animated video and I needed 24 minutes. And I'd be like, could I get rid of the point before the car accident? And it's like, I don't know. If they're playing it that Green is actually, this guy's actually Green's dad, like, if that was, I do think so. And if that was the one hint that we had from before he went all crazy and everything, is that these two were together for a long time. He gets into an accident, they separate, and that's when she starts seeing the dad because they've been brought together by the fact. But I would be thinking, oh, I might have to keep this in. Otherwise,
Predictive scene. It goes, I'm not actually your father, and Green just goes, yeah, I figured that out ages ago. Our hair type isn't even similar.
I mean, there is the things like hereditary hair color and eye color and everything like that can be passed down over generations. So it's not like...
And it's always hard to tell, like, in anime, because, like, it could just be a random character artistic choice and not, like, actually information. So it's impossible to parse until it becomes text.
Right. That's why I'm saying that the facet of showing them together before she ever met his dad, and then showing her pregnant sometime later, could be the impetus to, hey, this is us telling you that these two were together before the... Because it could be entirely possible that the daughter, the one that's in the machine, is his child, and that Green is not. And that's why it's an even bigger blow when he finds that she's in a coma and then she's dead and that she's the one that he puts in the machine. Not so much that I can't let my child die, but this is my only child, and now I'm not going to let her go.
I will say, at least on the text of the father being cold towards Green, that seems to be an externality of, like, being in this post his daughter's death position, right? It's like he has grown emotionally cold because he's had this death. More so than just, like, they're not related or anything. Because even though he acts cold, he does still seem to care and is putting Green in positions of power and giving him options and helping him build up to be, like, his replacement. he does care in some sense. He's not like completely discarded him.
No,
like,
I'm not
that's
saying
obvious, right?
I'm not saying that he's cold because of anything like that. I just mean
Um,
if we're using it as like if we're judging his relationship based on what we've seen, like even in the past, we saw he was a warmer individual, but
mhm.
we've never actually seen him interact with his children. They've been
Yeah.
in the same scenes together, but they've never like Green's over there in front of the stage show that's being done by future Sarg guy because he's in the costume, and
Yeah.
he's sitting over here with his wife sharing some delicious bread, but they're not actually in the scene together. We've never seen him interact with child him when he was warmer. We only seen him interact with future him after his wife and his daughter are dead. So I'm just saying that we don't know if that's a cultural thing either. That he is just treating him in the way that a Japanese father who's a business executive would just expect
or he
his
could be
son.
incredibly ethical and is trying explicitly not to be nepotistic and like gets an A+ for like ethical behavior, even though he is still related, I guess. Who knows? But I guess at this point, I'm after I take a bite of this sandwich again, I'm going to be a different person, so I'm going to reinvent myself as the person who watches the next episode.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to invent myself as the person who doesn't watch next episode. But I guess that really just plays to my character that I don't get into minor accidents and change who I am.
Yeah, very true.
My villainous backstory is started by something much deeper and darker, which I'll reveal maybe 20 episodes from now.
My villainous backstory is I ate a slightly burnt piece of toast and it changed my life forever. I
Right.
choked on a piece of gum.
Right. Clearly it burned your tongue in such a way that prevented you from saying hi to that girl that you liked all that time. In which
Now
case
that
she
my
fell.
sense of taste is
In
like
which
1%
case she fell in love with the jock who had a locker 2 steps down from hers. And, she's happy and in love today. I think they have 2 kids, and you're here talking to me. So that's why you're a villain, and I am... I don't know. It has nothing to do with me, actually.
Because I have tasted burnt toast I can no longer love.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so before we get too silly, I guess let's just go ahead and call it there.
But you forget, at the end roll of these credits, you already say something silly. You can't stop that. That's already going to happen after you're done talking.
Oh gosh, no, there's no escape. Well, I guess I'll have to just stay a silly, goofy person. No,
Oh, you silly goof.
Terribly. Alright, so I've been Griffin, that's been Theta, and this has been Stoneface Reaction. Come back and see us next time for the next episode. See you later, bro. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?